10 मिनट से चलाना है ना निखिल जी, प्रेयर का टाइम।
हाँ, अभी मैं बता देता हूँ। आई मीन 45 मिनट्स का वीडियो है, तो वी कैन स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 5:45। आई थिंक दैट्स फाइन। सो नमस्ते, आप सभी का स्वागत प्रातःकालीन सत्र में। प्रकाशी को इनवाइट करते हैं एंड वुड रिक्वेस्ट हिम टू डू द ऑफरिंग एंड होमेज। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Nikit. Dedication of offerings. Yoso Bhagava Araham Samma Sambuddho, to the Blessed One, the Lord who fully attained perfect enlightenment. Swakato Yena Bhagavata Dhammo, to the teaching which he expounded so well. Supatipanno yessa bhagavato savaka sango, unto the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well. Tammayang bhagavantam sasangam, to these the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. Imehi sakare yatarahan aropite iha vipujayama. We render with offerings our rightful homage. Sadhu no bhante bhagava suchira parini bhutopi. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, Pachima Janatanu Kampamanasam, still had compassion for later generations. Ime Sakare Dugatapana Karabhute Patiganahatu. May the simple offerings be accepted. Hamahakam Digaratham Itaya Sukhaya, for our long lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava, the Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one. Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivadeni. I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo, the teaching so completely explained by him. Dhammam Namassami, I bow to the Dhammam. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well. Sangam Namami, I bow to the Sangha. Andamayam Buddhassa Bhagavato Pubbavaganamakaram Karomase. Namo tassa bhagavato harahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato harahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato harahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Tilakana Havik Nyasa. అందమయం తిలక్కణ ఆదిగాతాయో బనామసే సబ్బే సంఖారా అనిచ్ఛాతి యదా పన్యాయ పස්සతి అథ నిబ్బిందతి దుఃఖే ఏ సమగ్గో విశుద్ధియా. Impermanent are all conditioned things. When with wisdom this is seen, one feels weary of all dukkha. This is the path to purity. Sabbe sankhara dukkhati yada panyaya passati atha nibbindati dukkhe ye samaggo visuddhiya. Dukkha are all conditioned things. When with wisdom this is seen, one feels weary of all dukkha. This is the path to purity. Sabbe dhamma anattati yada panyaya passati atha nibbindati dukkhe ye samaggo visuddhiya. There is no self in anything. When with wisdom this is seen, one feels very half all dukkha. This is the path to purity. Appake manussesu ye janapargamino attayam hitarapaja Thiram hivanudhavati. Few amongst humankind are those who go beyond, yet there are many folks ever wandering on this shore. Yechako sammadakate dhamme dhammanuvattino tejana parang esanti Machu Deya Saduttaram. Whatever Dhamma is well taught, those who train in line with it are the ones who will cross over the realm of death so hard to flee. Kanaham Dhammam Vipahaya Sukham Bhaveta Pandito Oka Hanokam Agama Viveke Yata Duramam Tatrabhiratim Ichcheya Itvakame Hakinchano. Abandoning the darker states, the wise pursue the bright. From the flood's dry land they reach, living withdrawn so hard to do. Such rare delight one should desire, sense pleasures cast away, not having anything. Bharasutta Gata. Andamayang Bharasutta Gathayo Banamase Bharahave Panchakanda Bharaharocha Pugalo Bharahadanam Dukkhang Loke Bharanike Panang Sukham. Five aggregates indeed are burdens, the best of burdens, though he is man. In this world to take up burden is dukkha. Putting them down brings happiness. Nikipitva garun bharang anyang bharang hanadiyo samulang tanahang habuya nichatto parinibhuto. A heavy burden cast away, not taking on another load, with craving pulled out from the root, desire still one is released. Baddekaratta gata. Andamayang baddekaratta gatayo banamase. Atitam jnanavagamaya nappatikanke anagatam yad atitam painantam appatancha anagatam. One should not revive the past, nor speculate on what is to come. The past is left behind, future is unrealized. Pachupannanchayo dhammam tatta vipassati asangirang asunkapang tang viddam anubruhahe. In every presently horizon state, there just there one clearly sees, unmoved, unagitated. Such insight is one's strength. Ajaheva kinchamatapam kojaya maranam suve. Nahino sangarantena mahasenena machuna. Ardently doing one's task today, tomorrow who knows death may come. Facing the mighty hordes of death, indeed one cannot strike the deal. Evam viharim athapim ahorattam atanditam tamve badde karattoti santo achikkate muni. To delve with energy aroused, thus for a night of non-decline, that is a night of shining prosperity. So it was taught by the peaceful sage. Dhamma Garav Hadigata.
You have to listen to this video, na?
Okay, sir. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Prakashi. So we will start first audio instructions by Lumpur Pasanno regarding Anapana Sati. So I'll share that now.
Opening. So this is our opening day of the retreat, and it's good to just begin turning attention to the formal practice of meditation. We've inevitably ends up that the sort of our practice, our formal practice, sort of waxes and wanes, and we're just having this time to to in the winter to really put our attention on the formal practice is it's really essential, important, necessary for our spiritual well-being and the well-being of the community. To just putting our efforts into practice. It was last night chatting with Lee on the way up, talking about the comparisons between music and practice, and Lee bringing up a quote of Arthur Rubinstein, who's said that in terms of practice and his musicians, that if somebody didn't practice for a day, then he would notice it. And if they didn't practice for 2 days, then the musicians noticed it. And if didn't practice for 3 days, then everybody noticed it. So that's I think that's very similar in terms of meditation and the that cultivation of the say the skills of looking after our mind and looking after the subtleties of what the way our moods and our impressions and our feelings and our thoughts, where they go to and what they result in. So in order to establish that basis of awareness and attention, so that we can start tuning into more, well, not necessarily even more subtle, I mean, even just to recognize more clearly the gross aspects of what our minds tend to do to us is really essential. So that cultivation of mindfulness and using a particular meditation technique that starts to give us a handle on how we do sustain attention, so that using mindfulness of breathing, of course, is my shtick. That's where I tend to focus my own practice and speak from that experience and use that as a framework for talking about practice. I mean, it can be extrapolated to different methods, techniques, but that is certainly my own foundation that I feel confident in. So that the using of the mindfulness of breathing, as I was mentioning on Saturday night, is really paying attention to posture to begin with. That getting a good feel for the body as it's sitting, and to adjust your posture, adjust your cushions that you can be using that help to support your your back, that sitting a bit forward so that you're, in the sense that if you're sitting on a cushion, sitting a bit forward on the cushion so that your weight is actually on your, they call them sit bones, but sits bones, or the actual, not sitting on your tailbone. I mean, there's a difference. And because sometimes if you sit back a bit, then the weight is more sort of on the tailbone, as opposed to sitting a bit forward, and then the weight is on the sort of the bones, sort of the hips where they come in and there, and that gives a bit better balance and poise for the back. If you sit back a bit too much, then the bottom of your spine sort of collapses, and what that does is then rolls your shoulders forward, and your back starts to, the middle of your back starts to hurt, to ache. So that by sitting a little bit forward and your pelvis is tilted slightly forward, then you're able to sort of rise up out of the pelvis, the sort of the pelvic cradle, and your spine rises up from that, and then there's a very nice balance where your spine is nice and straight. Although it's not straight, it just feels straight. I mean, your spine's never going to be straight because it's just what you're doing is supporting the natural curvature of the spine, where it has certain curves, and then you get a nice balance in the spine where you're sitting up straight. Not holding yourself with your back muscles. I mean, that's something that sometimes people do, is try to hold themselves up with their back muscles or their shoulder. Bring themselves up into a straight posture by sort of using their back muscles or their shoulder muscles, and that gets very tiring. Again, it's sort of getting a balance in posture, and then the actual muscles that are used are much more the abdominal muscles that support the posture, and then keeping the head nice and straight. I mean, in terms of just tilted a little bit forward. Again, that follows the natural curvature of the spine. It gives a nice balance. And then you can let the breath then start to be very natural or smooth, without straining or pushing or controlling the breath, and just to allow the breath to enter the body and leave the body as it in a very relaxed and natural way. Because that's what, in terms of mindfulness of breathing, it's not say an exercise in breath control. It's an exercise in mindfulness and attentiveness to what the breath is doing. So whether it's a short in-breath, to know that that's a short in-breath. If it's a short out-breath, to know that it's a short out-breath. If it's a long in-breath, to know that it's a long in-breath. If it's a long out-breath, to know that it's a long out-breath. Just to be attentive to that much, to recognize and use that as the basis of attention. And whether it's short or long doesn't really, in the end, doesn't really matter at all. But it's the awareness and attentiveness to to the breath, which is the most important thing. And generally what will happen, as one relaxes, as the mind settles, as the body becomes tranquil, then the general tendency is that there will be longer breaths. It's just sort of a natural rhythm. The body is relaxed, it's settled. The breath comes in and goes out in a very, usually, it's longer, and again, relaxed. There's no rushing. There's no need to rush. But the main thing is that sense of knowing clearly, which is the verb that is used in the Buddha's discourse, pajhanati, for the knowing the short breath, the long breath, whether it's coming in, going out, to know clearly, to recognize clearly what the breath is doing. In order to recognize clearly, it's very helpful to really be attentive to the beginning of the breath, to really take a point of, say, as the breath first comes in, really at the tip of the nose. Use that as an entry point, and to know clearly the sensation of the breath. Is it cool? Is it warm? Does it feel restricted? Is it flowing freely? Does it itch? Is it, whatever the sensation is, to really be attentive to that sensation, and really start to hone attention on the different, say, subtleties of where you're experiencing the breath. And there's the sensation at the tip of the nose as one's bringing the breath in, breathing in, as it comes into the nasal cavity, as it comes up to the sort of the passing back into the throat, going down into the body. There's sensation all the way along there, and to start to pay attention to that. Using, again, we've got 3 months of opportunity for exploring the breath. So don't be afraid of looking at subtleties and the nuances of how one experiences the breath. Oftentimes it happens that people tend to be trying to get the nimitta of the breath, and forget to really attend to the breath, attend to the breathing, attend to the sensation. So that sense of, again, being more interested in exploring the breath than trying to gain something from the breath, trying to get something out of the meditation. That's always there's this frantic quality that comes into the mind when we're trying to make the meditation be a particular way, trying to get the results, trying to fulfill the ideal of what we think we should be doing. So that sense of trying to get the nimitta, because that's what we've heard we should be doing. There should be some sort of nimitta arising. we don't even necessarily know what a nimitta means, but but I'm going to get it anyway. So attend to the this is very much a part of our mind, of our meditation, is start recognizing the underlying assumptions that come with just trying to perform a simple act like being attentive to the breath, attentive to the to breathing in and breathing out. It's such a simple, ubiquitous sort of act that we have to be doing all the time, and it's so easy to start overlaying it with our desires, our projections, our assumptions, our views and opinions, without even questioning that. We just sort of slip right into that. So that a part of the taking interest in the breath is also starting to recognize a bit more clearly, well, what is it that hampers that clear knowledge of the in-breath and the out-breath? Start to look, to investigate that. Because then we start to getting insights into those particular tendencies that we have. And without getting say bogged down in that either, and just sort of taking note. Oh, that's interesting. But the main say focus, of course, is just coming back to the breath, paying attention to the sensation of the breath as it comes into the body, and then the out breath as it comes out of leaves the body. So that attending to it, particularly when we first start a sitting, it's helpful to really establish the mindfulness of the breath, sort of the whole rhythm of the breath, the whole sensation of the breath, as the breath comes in, to feel it coming into from the tip of the nose into the back of the throat, down to the chest, down to the abdomen as the abdomen rises, and then as the abdomen falls, to be attentive to the sensation of the whole. So really connecting the breath with the body, connecting the body and the breath together, and that gives the sort of anchor for the breath and for the meditation. As if one feels more comfortable, we'll bring the attention down into the abdomen at the end. Say after you've established that sort of initial connection with the body and the breath, if one feels more comfortable to bring attention to the abdomen and use the abdomen as a main focal point. That's one way of let's say one point that is commonly used. It's probably the two main points are sort of the tip of the nose and the abdomen. The abdomen has advantages and disadvantages. As in everything has an advantage and a disadvantage. Say the abdomen has the advantage of being, there's movement there, physical movement, and so that it can sometimes be a lot more clear, not quite as subtle a sensation. So it's a bit more clear, and has the um, a because the physical movement of the abdomen, rising and falling, the movement in and out. There's a lot more to pay attention to, and therefore gives you, I say, a clear object to be attending to. That's very helpful because the mind it wanders. It doesn't. It needs to be engaged, and this is really important in terms of meditation. That one needs to be engaging attention, engaging the mind, in order to be able to sustain attention. If you're not engaging awareness, engaging attention, taking an interest, assessing what are the results of that attention, then the mind is going to start going dull very quickly. It's just if one so often what happens in meditation, people tend to sit down, place attention on the breath, and then it's sort of like waiting for the results to come, waiting for the mind to become peaceful. And what usually happens is then the mind goes dull and gets sleepy and drowsy, or one starts daydreaming and proliferating. So that there's this necessity to engage attention. The mind needs work to do, and this is what they say the kammatthana, the basis of action, the basis of work. The work of the mind is its refining it. The work of the meditator is that clarifying of awareness, and one needs to be engaged in that. So that engaging attention, and there's different ways that one needs to experiment with, and so that just also the actual object, place where you pay attention, is already that is an aspect of what you need to be considering. Is the abdomen, the sensation of the breath, and the sensation of the abdomen rising and falling. There's movement there. There's a physical sensation, engaging attention, and that's very helpful. I found it very helpful for a long time because it was far enough away from my thinking and proliferating restless mind that it was very helpful for me to be able to settle. If I tried to pay attention at the tip of the nose, and I just usually get caught up in my own thinking and proliferating, and that wasn't useful for me. So that the actual coming down into the center of the body, anchoring the breath sort of and not in an extremity, but really coming down into almost the core of one's being. I found that very grounding. In Chinese, so the conception of the body, then the sort of the abdomen is the focal center point for energy. That's your when people do qigong or kung fu or tai chi, that's where you move from, is from the abdomen, and that's where your sort of center of energy, your center of balance is. So that's when you're using the mindfulness of breathing, coming to the abdomen, then there's a very strong centering and very energetic quality that is there. So that's an important say aspect to be considering, and to use the breath at that point. Experiment and see if that is useful, and see recognize what its benefits are. Using the tip of the nose as the point of attention. It has it has advantages and disadvantages. I mentioned the disadvantage that I experienced, but also as I've continued meditating over the years, and I'd say a lot of the restlessness is sort of settled internally for me, so that I end up finding the tip of the nose useful because of its the subtlety of it. And it's also at one point. It's not sort of moving in the same way that there's physical movement with the abdomen, so that there's a point of attention to keep really honing that one-pointedness, so that there's an advantage to that as well. A lot of it is just really attending to, what do I need? What do I need in order to help the meditation go smoothly? And certainly what we all need is mindfulness, really bringing those qualities of mindfulness and awareness to the attending to the breath. When we use the word mindfulness, that sense of being present for the breath, really receiving the breath, with really being present, really receiving the breath with an open, clear quality within the mind, and that's it's really, that's to actually check that sense of what does it mean to be mindful. We talk about mindfulness of breathing, and so we leap into the breathing, and we say, well, what about the mindfulness part? Are we actually being mindful? What is mindfulness? What's it mean to be mindful? How do I sustain mindfulness? So that one has to question that. Because again, if you just sort of lock into the breath with say, oh, okay, now's my meditation time. Lock into the breath without really establishing mindfulness, and all you do is drift off, wander, proliferate, get dull, and that sort of defeats the purpose of it. So that effort in bringing up a quality of mindfulness. How do I be alert? How do I create awareness? One of the qualities is the basic quality of mindfulness is that you're actually awake. If you're not even awake, where's the mindfulness? How does it? How does one sort of even get out to first base in the meditation? If it doesn't even start with wakefulness. So that creating that wakefulness, alertness. And if that means opening the eyes, then that's fine. That's not a problem. It's better to sit with the eyes open and be awake than just sort of drifting and spending the time in dullness. Just referring back to the posture, getting the posture straightened up, putting attention on so the energizing the body, using the body to energize the mind. This is where the mind and body are functioning together. Sitting up straight. How does one place the hands? Well, what's the head? Where is it feeling? How are the shoulders? To go through the body and establish a posture that is energetic, that is upright, that is you're putting forth effort, and that's it's really an important part of the meditation is creating that foundation for mindfulness to sustain itself, and so that effort is a necessary part of that, and that bringing attention to posture. Straightening the posture without making it stiff and rigid, but that energizing and when I say energizing, it's you're not sort of there's a relaxing quality there as well. The actual say when we're say the energy of meditation is something that is very soothing and it's very relaxing, so that and that way it's able to be sustained when it is relaxing. If you relate to energy as something that is just sort of ramping up something, as if you're sort of on some sort of amphetamine high, that's rather different. There's this energy that has a meditative quality to it. That is where there's awareness, alertness, but there's also there's a nice balance and evenness. There's a sense of relaxation that's in there as well. So that again, that's where the physical posture is very helpful to use that as a kind of like almost as a weather vane to sort of get a sense. Okay, is there balance there? Is that alert? Is it bright? Is it am I present? Am I mindful? So that bringing that attention back to the posture, to the breathing, mindfulness. And how do you that question that should be sort of reverberating through the mind in terms of is this meditation? Is this mindfulness? Is this mindfulness of breathing? What am I doing? Because if the question isn't there, then you see, oftentimes it's just as the time passes and the bell rings and one does something else, and so that sense of really questioning, which is what they, in terms of the in Thailand, one of the say meditation techniques and ways of using meditation that are very very common is that use of the mantra Buddho. And and it isn't just sort of, it's used in many different ways, and particularly in conjunction with the breath. Buddho on the in-breath, Bud on the out-breath, To. But also one of the things that's always emphasized is the meaning of what Buddho means, and Buddho meaning the one who knows. And then that questioning of, well, who is the one who knows? What am I knowing? What is what is this quality of the one who knows? What is Buddho? So creating a question in the mind that is helping to bring up this alertness, because without that questioning, without that querying, without the investigation, then mindfulness and meditation turns into something very flat. So that there needs to be this sort of questioning, investigation. What's the mindfulness for? What am I paying attention to? What am I looking at my nose for? What's its purpose? What use is it? And through that, then there's this, that sense of, again, returning to the quality of mindfulness, awareness. What is how to bring it up, how to maintain it, and using the breath as that vehicle, as the breath comes in, sustaining attention through the beginning of the breath, the middle of the breath, the end of the breath. As the breath goes out, to be very attentive to the sensation as the breath begins, the middle of the out breath, the ending of the out breath. And to be very attentive to that, to recognize it, to see it clearly. So that the using and cultivating this mindfulness of breathing, as we're beginning the retreat, and it's not just the doing sitting meditation, but also walking meditation, and after we break, then we'll go and do a period of walking meditation, and the exact same instructions can be applied to the walking meditation as well. We're taking a very ordinary activity, turning into a meditation by the fact of creating awareness around what we're doing. So that taking a path of about 20 to 25, 30 paces, and bringing up our attention to the physical act of walking. Again, relaxing the body so that there's a nice posture. One's upright, and then walking a bit slower than normal is generally the way to do it. Just by slowing things down a bit, it's helpful to create awareness, and to be attentive to the sensation of your foot as you raise your right foot, moving your right foot, and bringing attention down into the movement of the feet, and then setting your right foot down, lifting your left foot, moving your left foot, setting your left foot down. This is, in this case, that sense of bringing attention into the extremity of the say the sensation of the feet is very helpful. One, because the sensation is strongest in walking. That's where your contact point is. So that bringing attention down into the feet is you've got a clear sensation to attend to. Walking slowly, following the rhythm of the walking until you get to the end of the walking meditation path. Try to pick up a path that is fairly flat and even, so that you're not having to be dodging obstacles and tripping on things or it's distracting in that way. So just finding a nice level spot where your walking meditation is quite easy to walk back and forth. And then you can just let the walking concentrate on the physical sensation of walking rather than having to be worrying about whether you're going to trip on something or whether it's uneven and it's making your body sort of sway back and forth or whatever. So just to be attentive to that simple physical act of walking, and if the mind starts proliferating or you start wandering off, sometimes it's helpful just to stop in the middle of the walking path until clear the mind, settle the mind, come back to the physical sensation of walking, and then resume the walking again. Certainly at the end of the path, then stop before you turn around or after you've turned around, before you start walking back again, to physically stop and to check and see, okay, am I present? Am I here? Am I mindful? Am I doing the walking meditation? And then to if it's necessary, to reestablish attention, or when you're sure that the attention is established, then to resume the walking, and then to continue back and forth like that. In the walking meditation, you're using the walking in the same way that you're using the breath. It's a physical sensation that you can sustain a continuity of awareness on, and from that vantage point, then you can start to recognize more clearly, well, what are the habits of mind? What are the moods that come in? What are the tendencies that the mind throws up? What does it feel like to be peaceful? What does it feel like to be attentive? What does it feel like to be aware? What is awareness anyway? What is mindfulness? How do I sustain it? And so creating that interest and investigation as to what is meditation? What am I doing in meditation?
Let's continue to sit, and if anybody having any query, kindly raise the virtual hand so that can be cleared by sir. So this was today's first session of Anapana Sati. The same audio instructions would be repeated in the evening session also. And in this way, we will go through all the 19 instructions during weekdays. To me, it was beneficial in the manner that I was a bit more enthusiastic today. I woke up a little bit early and just cleansed myself a little bit more to sit here. Any observation or any question still can be shared before we move to Paritta section. Sir, for me, there are some blackouts, you know, blackouts periods, which is frankly they are not detrimental to me. Because if I'm tired or if I am very much worked up, so suddenly there would be blackout periods, and 10 minutes after I would be again, oh, I'm back to this listening. So, does it happen with everyone, with every practitioner, or it just happens with me? Like I will not be available anymore suddenly, but when after that blackout period, I am again regaining consciousness. I am feeling okay, fine, because earlier my mind was probably a bit more chattering. Now at least it is not chattering. So I don't know if I call it dullness or if I call it cleansing process or if I call it just the way things works out in this manner. Yeah, Mian, you want to say?
Yeah, I think it's for me, it made me sleepy. Listen to explaining on these skills. I think the mind should be very energetic. Otherwise, it's in the early morning, you just get you sleepy. So sometimes when I listen to Dharma talk, I choose a time when I feel more energetic, not tired. So for me, yes, it's okay.
Okay. So I didn't get you. You are saying that mind should be energetic, but you are saying it's okay for me. So am I energetic or am I going through that some process?
It is more to
I
do with being feeling sleepy rather than anything else.
don't.
You're not mindful. One is not mindful. It happens to all of us. We get blackouts because we feel sleepy. And then all of a sudden we realize, oh my God, why did I feel sleepy? Because if we are mindful, then we will be mindful for the whole time. Because then there is nothing else. Blackouts is generally sleepy, as far as I understand myself.
For me, every day is different. Some day it is perfect from beginning to end, and some day it is exactly like the way I described it. So this is, I think, part of the learning process also. I mean, of course, it's very important that we feel fresh and energetic when we sit down, and that doesn't always happen. Sometimes there are other factors that dominate.
And what I practice when I feel sleepy is immediately get up and do walking meditation. That
That's a
helps
good thing.
because, yeah.
So Nikhil, I
Yeah,
think it's okay. Only thing is you have to, when you realize it, you have to do something about it, whatever is most appropriate at that time.
yes, because I'm talking something which we have been practicing for long, and those are the same again the same questions, but every time I talk and I listen to you people, I get little bit more insight. So I improve. So that's why I keep asking the same questions. And Vishalji is asking what is the state of mind leading up to the blackouts? It is sometimes, first of all, it is a feeling of, seclusion, जो विवेक से चित्त sorry काया विवेक से जो उत्पन्न हो रहा है. Okay, fine, that okay, I am relaxing, I am so happy that I can sit and nobody is troubling me, nobody is calling me, at least my karma is so good. So just relax. And then that sense of relax makes me, okay, fine, fine, you can take rest, you deserve it. And that kind of thing. And after, I mean, there is a sense of gratefulness. Ki, fine, I'm okay. I'm at least able to take this Kaya Vivek. And then, fine, if I'm fine that I'm gone, and after 10 minutes, I wake up. And I don't feel, I mean, I don't know, don't want to feel bad about it. Of today, I just thought of Mogalan. Okay, fine, I should rub my ears or I should do something. Um, that's what the Venerable Mogalan used to do. So that's a state of mind, Vishalji. It is more like gratefulness. Okay, fine, I am waking up, I am sitting in front of esteemed company, and I am doing something. I'm so grateful, and then I sleep.
Yeah. So it sounds like there is an imbalance between the virya and the samadhi component. This is a well described problem, and what it shows is that so see when one is trying to enter samma samadhi, you have to balance the virya, the effort. And what is the effort? The effort is those fourfold right effort, right? Unwholesome mental states not arising. If they're there, letting them go, making sure the wholesome states that have arisen stay for a long time, and encouraging as yet unrisen wholesome states to arise. So what is happening is that one starts off in somewhat of a balance because one is still trying to find the kamatana and be with the kamatana. But at the first sort of early level, the kamatana, the being with the kamatana releases a sense of relaxation or some mild rapture feeling. And the kaya viveka, the chitta viveka, there's a little bit of relaxation. But then what's happening is that your sati is becoming lost and you're losing the balance between the effort, the virya, because if the sati was on mark, it would say, okay, I feel this sense of blah coming, this sort of like this nebulous sense of like just being in the zone, so as to say, and you start losing the familiarity with the object, right? The object of meditation, you're losing it. So then the right effort should be to recognize the sati will help you recognize that I'm losing the object, the kammatana. And then the right effort will be to find it again and stay with it. So the balancing faculty here is sati. And the two functions that it's trying to balance is concentration and effort. If one is too low, if one is too high, then if there's too much effort, you become really wiry. If there's too little effort and too much of this relaxation, then you go off into this dream world. So it's sort of it's a well-known issue. We all go through it. It just shows that the sati has to be kept at a level because as the mind becomes more calm, you have to sort of it's like you have to press on the accelerator, right? Because you have to go to the next level. You can't be comfortable with the relaxation or the little bit of this rapture that comes. You have to then step on the pedal, and you have to then, as they say, move your game up, and then what happens is then you have to do it again and again till the point where the sati and the effort and the samadhi all come together, and then it takes a life of its own. But up until that point, you constantly have to balance them. That's how I feel, I see it.
Yes, yes, Vishalji. And I would confirm that Earlier, probably some 2, 3 years back, I used to complain that there is constant pain in my legs, but now I can say that the pain has lessened during this practice. So, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times the leg pain is actually a reflection of the mind state, the state of mind. Now, sometimes the leg pain could be true leg pain, certainly, but many times it could be that you've reached a certain level of samadhi and then you have to step up your game because and the discomfort in the legs will tell you, like you could be doing the same practice and sit for an hour and a half and have no leg pain at all. And then on another day, you get leg pain in 40 minutes or 30 minutes or something. And it's, if you really look back historically, that the practice, you'll notice that the state of mind was not the same in the two F, the two times you sat. So that also, I think a lot of us would attest to the fact that the leg pain is often a reflection of the state of mind.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So probably with next few sessions, I'll share a bit more. दीपक जी आपने हैंड रेज किया हुआ है.
ये जो है ना, विशाल जी ने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा, बस एक छोटी सी बात मैंने ऐड करनी है. जो भी हमारी माइंड स्टेट्स आती हैं या जो फिजिकल पेन्स हैं, वी फॉरगेट टू रिकलेक्ट दैट दे आर ऑल इम्परमानेंट. जब हम रिकलेक्ट कर लेते हैं कि भाई इम्परमानेंट है, तो फिर बैलेंस किसी तक अपने आप आ जाता है. दिस इज ऑल आई वांट टू ऐड. That's important point which we generally miss, we forget rather. Impermanence of all mind states, impermanence of all pains, we forget very often.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for all these discussions. And this is helping. This is giving me little bit independence, and I'm getting some sort of small patches. Thank you. Uh, Sir, is everything gone right, or would you like to add few more things? Fine. Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Yeah. All right.
I hope you're not thinking too much while practice. That's all. Because what you were saying was probably for our understanding. No? You're not constantly thinking about what I'm doing, what I'm achieving. Oh, nice, this is good, that is good. You don't have to do that.
No, I'm not thinking. It is just like,
You're explaining to us.
yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting, and luckily I'm able to now name it. Okay, this is memory, this is aspiration. Okay, let it go.
Why
Let
it
it
is when you are practicing Anapana for the point of view of Samadhi, from the point of view of Samadhi, there's no need to think what is attained, what I have got, what is the state, what is that, what is this. And the moment the mind starts becoming dull, immediately take the corrective action. We know what corrective action is to be done, isn't it? When the mind is becoming dull and sleepy. So do that action rather than thinking, why is it happening? Why is it happening to others? Is it happening to me? There's no point in that. We just live in the moment. Whatever is happening is happening. That's all. Okay. So I thought you were probably explaining to us, so that's fine. But if you're thinking while practicing this, oh, acha, bahut achhi state aa rahi hai, very good, very good, I'm doing well, I should be grateful to the situation, to things. No, nothing. Nothing of that kind is required to be done at all. Just sit quietly. The breath is coming, going. Be aware. This is the beginning of the breath. This is the middle of the breath. This is the ending of the breath. Breath has stopped. Okay, breath is still stopped. You're not saying that, you're observing it. Breath is stopped, still stopped, still stopped. Okay, it has started again. Just be aware of that. So the moment mind gets done, when mind becomes calm, we get sleepy because our experience in day-to-day life of calmness is associated with sleep. So there is association. Because of that association, mind goes into sleep. So the moment you discover that, as soon as earliest sign, you open your eyes. Simple thing is that. You work with open eyes. But then most of the time it will go. And if you're not able to discover, to be mindful at that moment when mind is slightly going towards that. Then when it goes, then whenever by earliest opportunity you remember, open the eyes, look at the light, or do whatever else you pull your earlobes. Buddha's instructions are very clear. Do them and come back. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I will all further improve in it. What you says is, and not exactly I'm doing, but yes, I got it. I will try to do that because बहुत सारा निकल रहा है. Like सांस पे ध्यान नहीं दे पा रहा हूँ. It is like,
Don't bother.
okay.
Don't bother. Don't bother. Whatever is happening is happening. Don't ascribe value to it. Try to get me. You can do it after the meditation. After the meditation, reflect क्या हुआ, क्या किया, क्या नहीं किया, गलती हो गई, ठीक हो गया. During meditation, don't try to do any constant assessment of क्या हो रहा है. समाधि की प्रैक्टिस करनी है तो ऐसे करना चाहिए.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
As
Thank you so much.
Vishalji explained, the balancing of things is very important. Balancing of the faculties. Okay, so that's a very crucial thing to do that.
Yes, sir.
Sorry,
Thank you.
खांसी.
Yes, I was also unwell, but today I am well, luckily. So I'm improving. So closing chants, Vishal, Prakash ji, आप closing chants कर दें. Homage figure.
भवतु सर्वमङ्गलम् रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवतां सर्वबुद्धानुभावेन सदा सोत्ति भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सोत्ति भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्गानुभावेन सदा सोत्ति भवन्तु ते अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धा भगवान् बुद्धं भगवन्तम् अभिवादेमि स्वागतो भगवता धम्मो धम्मं नमस्सामि सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्गो सङ्गं नमामि. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good day.
थैंक यू. जो हमें नॉर्मल लगता है वो नॉर्मल नहीं है.
Thank you, Prakash.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.